On this episode of this, we finally finished the livery on the Nug. So it looks like I'm starting this video off again the same way as I always do. I don't have enough time. And it's true, like I just got back from Drag Challenge. So for those of you who don't know, the Street Machine Drag Challenge is a 5 or 6 day event, 6 days for us, 6 day event where people race their drag cars and they have to drive hundreds of kilometers to the next track, race their drag car there, and they have to do the whole thing unassisted. Only people that can help is other competitors and people in the car. It's a pretty cool event, and I was shooting it for the first time, so myself and one other guy basically covered the entire thing. We were up till 3 or 4 in the morning, editing videos and getting them out for 7 a.m. the next morning. It was full on, but it's done and they came out pretty cool. So go and check them out. That's all kind of me and help from a couple other guys. Anyway, but we're back with the Nug, and it's time to finally finish this livery. So I started the livery on the bonnet. You would have seen that hopefully on an older video where I went to my very first race at Winton, and the boys and I put this livery on. So we did the stripe and the cog and a couple of other little graphics like the 1 gauge Lyne Motorsport and stuff like that on the side of the car, and also the RG customs on the back for my mate Rob. But that's about it. Like that's pretty much the livery. Oh, and the roof with the cogs that kind of disappear off into the horizon, which I love. It's very cool. But I want to finish this livery. You know, we've got Bathurst coming up and I want this car to look schmicko. If you can't be fast, look fast. So you'll notice the side of the car doesn't really have much on it. Let's tilt the camera around a bit. So it's a bit of a bright day. So you'll notice over here, there isn't much stuff. So what I want to do, let me zoom the camera around, hang on. There we go, that's a bit better. And for those of you at home, I have new work pants that kept commenting on my torn work pants. I went and bought some new ones, so there you go, you happy now? Right, so what I want to do is do the Nugget Project down the side. So I've got this big Nugget Project logo here, which I basically want to put on the side there. And we're going to do a stripe that goes all the way to the back, above and below the Nugget Project logo. And then I have, well, stay up there, the cogs, which will go either side of that. So one will go there, and one will go down here, that kind of thing. It's just very hard to kind of line it all up, so I'm gonna have to run a string line and try and sort of get it in place. And then for the back is our good friends at Luxe Performance. So we are gonna put them here, so that line will continue all the way up, and then the Luxe Performance will go on the back there and take up most of the rear quarter, which is what they deserve because they are legends. That's my plan. So obviously I've cut up a lot of the graphics already. It's just going to be hard to kind of orchestrate them on the side of the car. As I said, I might run a string line, try and kind of stick them in place, and then, I don't know, hopefully it works. Otherwise I'm just going to have to cut some new ones. Speaking of cutting, I'm going to show you how I made a lot of these stickers. So I bought a vinyl cutter. Basically when I first started doing graphics, I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to go, it costs a fortune to get this stuff done. So I'm just going to go buy a vinyl cutter. So I went and bought one, and I found a vinyl supplier and I started designing and cutting my own vinyl, which is what you see here on the car. Not this junk, that's the series sponsor stickers, and thank you very much for your support, but that looks horrible. And so what I can do is basically you get sheets or rolls or vinyl like this. So this is our fluoro red. It looks orange on camera, it's actually red. Fluoro red, which I use for the Nugget stuff. And it is just a sheet of this Oracle 65 tenths of fluoro vinyl, and this is rated for, I think, about 10 years of outdoor use. It's pretty good stuff, as long as you clean whatever you're sticking it to. So like on windows and stuff, this will sit on the shop window for 10 odd years and not die. But all it is just a vinyl on a backing. So I think a lot of people don't understand exactly what a vinyl cutter does. So if you think, I'll show you the vinyl cutter in a second, but basically what it is, it's just a knife that goes and cuts shapes out of the vinyl, and then you take the negative away from that and it leaves you with a cutout shape. So if you want to do 2 colors, it's a little trickier. If you have a look at our Luxe Performance logo there, obviously it has 2 colors. It has the black and the red. So to do that, if you have a look at the back here, I have 2 sheets stuck together. So I cut the shape out of the black and then took away that excess material. So that was obviously all black. You take it away and just leave the Luxe Performance logo. And then I did the same with the red, is I cut the red, removed the excess, and then using this is a contact sheet. So this stuff here, let me show you that. is just a clear contact, and that's what allows us to transfer that graphic onto the car or whatever you're doing. So I then put the contact on the red and then laid the red down very carefully on top of the black to match up the position and shape. Basically, that's how you do a two color vinyl. So there's no real easy way to do it. What you can do is do what they call registration marks. You have like two squares in both colors and you line them on top of each other and that lines it up. But yeah, if you see anything with multiple colors, like we've got our Karma Realty here, Rob, lovely guy, avid viewer of the show, and he hit me up and said he'd like to support us, and so we've got the Karma Realty logo on the wing mirrors proudly, and thank you very much, Rob, you're a lovely guy. And yeah, so that's obviously that's white with gold, so I had to lay the gold down, yada yada yada. That's how you do it. So it's not quite as simple as I want it to look like that and press go. You have to really kind of plan these things and how you're going to put them together. Anyway, let's show you the vinyl cutter. I've got a new sponsor. It's very exciting. So we'll cut their logo now and I'll show you the vinyl cutter working and you kind of get an idea of how it all happens. Okay, so here's our software for designing graphics, and here is our new sponsor, Protex. The Protex do brakes, so you would have seen in the last episode we rebuilt the brakes on the car, and all those seal kits and everything are all made by Protex. So very cool. Thank you so much for those guys to be on board. I'm very excited. Unfortunately, we just did the brakes on the car, but that's okay. We'll definitely use their services in the future. So I've got the logo there, and this part here I want to be red, so the O, and the rest will be white. Normally I would usually I would cut the O out and cut that differently. I'm being lazy, I'm just going to cut the whole thing in white and cut the whole thing in red, remove the white letters, put the red in. I'll show you how to do that. That's just me being lazy and wasting material, but it is what it is. So this is our cutting software. So now we just need to resize it, which is very easy. I can just click on that and I can move that in, and up here it shows us in millimeters. So we'll just measure where we're going to put it on the car, and then we just need to make sure that that is the right size, and then we can send it to our cutter. Now this is where our Protex logo is going on our headlights. Now you can see the remainder of our Redline Oils sticker. Unfortunately, Redline Oils no longer supports the show. It's nothing, we didn't part on bad ways. It's just my contact at Redline Oils. He left the company, and I've got other people who'd like this spot, so I just didn't pursue it anymore. So thank you so much to Redline for your support over the years. That was fantastic. Now this spot will go to Protex, so I still need to clean the rest of this off, but for now we'll use our ruler and we'll measure. So I reckon we can make that logo about 240 mil. So what I'll do is I'll resize it to 240 mil and we'll see how high it is and make sure it fits in that little nubby spot there. Alrighty, so this is my vinyl cutter. It's only a cheap unit, but it seems to do the trick. Basically it's got this rail, moves backwards and forwards, and it's got rollers that move the sheet in and out. And got a little knife in there and it cuts. It's nice, getting a bit blunt now. It's done a few Ks. I don't know why I got such a big one. I was planning on doing like big car graphics and then realized pretty much that's the size of the roll you get unless you special order. So it's kind of useless, to be honest. Yeah, we're gonna get one of these. Just get one that fits like 35 centimeter rolls, because that's what you can do. Anyway, turn it on. This thing is so noisy, by the way. You wait till you hear it go. So what we'll do now is we'll feed the roll in. So we'll do the white negative first. I'm just going to line everything up. So we just line everything up. Put the clamps down. Now the clamps, the feet do tend to sort of score it makes an indentation in the vinyl, but it seems after a while that indentation comes out, so it's not a big deal. And that is ready to go. I don't need to change the settings, I'm all set. So I'll just plug my uber long USB cable into my laptop and we can press go. Told you it was loud. There we go, vinyl cutting 101. So that's what the machine does. So now we'll take the cut section out. So as you can see, it still looks exactly the same. but it's got all the cuts in there. So now we need to cut that off, and we need to do what's called weeding. So weeding is removing the excess material. So let's show you that. Alrighty, so I'll go get my tools for doing this, but I can do the first part without it. So basically we need to remove all the excess stuff. So I've done the logo twice, obviously, 2 headlights. And then you can see the letters starting to appear. So be careful not to remove the wrong thing. The logo is going to be a tricky one because it's got very tight detail on it. You can see that there. Oh. Very good thing, go. That's starting to peel it up, so we'll just fix that bit. Okay. This logo is quite easy because it's, you know, it's big, it's chunky, not many fine details. But you can imagine if the whole thing had fine details like that in it, it would be very, very hard. You also notice that the middle of the P and the middle of the E's are still in there, so we need to get what's called our weeding tools and hook them out. So I'll go get them in a second, but we also have the same thing in the red. So there we go. This is a bit of a waste, as I said, like, because we're only going to use the O in the red. Usually I'd kind of just cut the red out and I'd just cut that out, and but it means I have to chop the file up and I just couldn't be bothered. I'm in a rush, so I'm going to do it this way. Anyway, let's go get my weeding tools and we'll weed that out. But what we'll probably do is go in my kitchen because I have a much cleaner bench, and we'll use the contact sheet and show you how to put these together. Alrighty, so we're in the house, excuse the terrible lights. So I've just got to weed out these letters now. So we've got our little weedy tool. It's a little sharp picky thing. Use that, and we'll just pick the letters out. Obviously this logo is very simple, which is nice. It's very easily visible, but also easy to pick. I don't even need to pick this red one actually. It's just habit. Okay. So because we're transferring the red O's onto there, we need to pick these and get rid of these altogether. Which feels like such a waste, I know. That's how we do it. There we go. So now we need to move those to there. So this is a sheet of clear contact. So this is what we use to transfer onto the car. So just set that up on the edge of the bench. Use our little special piece of wood. Now, when I lift that off, it's going to take it away from that backing paper. And I just need to hold that flat, so let me get some tape for that. Go. So now I'll remove those from the backing, and we lay them down on top of this one. You've got to be careful because as soon as this backing paper touches, it's all over. It's on there. about right. Doing this with registration marks makes more sense. Whoop. There we go. And there is our Protex logo. So we can take that off and that'll all come off together. Let's see, it'll bring the whites with it and the orange, and that's our full logo. So let's go stick it on the headlight. Okay, so I cleaned the headlight off, ready to go, and there's one of our logos all cut up. So now we just need to put it on there. So basically the best thing to do, just give it a bit of a rub, just make sure it's all sticking onto the backing, onto the contact paper, and we'll just peel that off. Make sure the letters and everything are coming with it. And then try to line it up square. I emphasize on the try. I'm not a professional at this. Something like that. It's pretty good, I reckon. And what you can do is, if there's things that are really curved, like this headlight's a bit curved, but it's not too bad, just use a heat gun. Honestly, you only need a tiny bit of heat and it'll just get really soft, and it'll flex, and it'll fit onto the it'll fit the contours really easy. It's actually quite a hot day today. It's about 35 in the shed here, so we're good. Now we just slowly remove the contact sheets. What you can do is just run it like this, push it back. If you're using big pieces of vinyl, you can put some spray behind it, and that stops bubbles, and then you can kind of push the bubbles out. But because these are only small letters, we don't have that problem. Got one little bubble there. I think there's just a bit of, yeah, there's a chip on the headlight, so that's why it's bubbled there. But ta-da! We have our new sponsor on the headlight, and it looks pretty cool, I reckon. The O kind of looks like an eye. I reckon that's pretty sick. Sweet. There we go. I'm happy with that. So that is how you do a 2-color vinyl. So, you know, when people go, oh, it's just like, let's do a sticker, and they send you a graphic that's got like a rainbow on it with 45 different colors. That's 45 different sheets of vinyl you've got to line up, and that sucks. So, yeah, that's why a lot of these are just big solid colors for what we're doing. You can also see why all our names here on the bonnet, you can imagine how long that would have taken me, because I got to sit there and peel that back, and then go through and pick out all the bits and the O's and the D's and the A's. So all the names on this car, very appreciative of all these names being on this car, but that was definitely quite a few nights in front of the TV of my wife and I sitting there peeling it and picking it and weeding it out. So yes, it was fairly time consuming, but I don't care. I'm very appreciative of everybody's support. I also now have done, for the over $40 supporters, I've done another one of your names, which I will send out. I'm just waiting for the last bits to come, so it is on the way, guys, I promise. And then I want to try and do Nugget Project stickers for you guys too, but the Nugget Project logo is actually super complicated, and that's my own fault, so it takes a long time to do those. Anyway, there we go. That is how we do that. So let's have a look at the rest of the car. Okay, so now you know how the vinyl cutting works and all that sort of business. I'm probably not going to go into a super amount of detail on this because I just need to get it done. It's going to be very time consuming for me. So what I might do is just set up a time lapse and show you this going on. I don't need to show you all the details. And hopefully it works okay. If not, I guess I'll rip it off and I cut another one and go again. But I'd rather not, because obviously, you know, that was a lot of white vinyl to do that logo. Same with the rest. It's a lot of material, and you know, it's not crazy expensive, but it's also not really cheap. So I'd rather not go out and have to buy any more. I also have a couple more logos going on. So we've obviously got Protex. We've got one of the supporters for Bathurst, who is going just above the door here. So you know, he donated a bit of money and he'd like to be above the door. So go for it, man. Appreciate it. Also, we've got our friend Luke, who his business is going on the car somewhere. We haven't quite decided yet. My wife's first aid company, because she is my biggest supporter, so she'll be going on the car too. Yes, and we've got a couple of new supporter names that are going to go on the roof, and that's probably going to be about it, because I think we're out of space. So anyway, let's get stuck in this. I'll set up a time lapse, and then you guys can just watch me hopefully not stuff this up. Alrighty, so there we go. There is the driver's side of the livery done. We've got the Nugget Project stripe and the cog and the Luxe Performance on the back. I personally think it looks really cool. It's not everybody's taste, but I reckon that looks rad. The camera does not do it justice how much that red pops. It is very bright, and this car is going to stand out on track so well, which is the whole point of a livery, isn't it? So, pretty stoked to know. Obviously, I still have to do the other side of the car. I'm not going to show you that. You get it. It's that on the other side. We still got a few more bits to do. I've got to repaint the back bumper where I got a love tap at Phillip Island, so I'll give that a bit of a spray. I've got some paint mixed up just in some rattle cans. And then I've got some companies to go on the back bumper, and I think a little one down here. But I think that looks pretty cool. I'm pretty stoked on that. It really pops. It now looks like a race car. It breaks up the blue, and it's a nice uniform livery. You know, like all the logos have the red, the white, or the black. Like it's all, yeah, it's cool. I dig it. That's awesome. Anyway, so you can see kind of how I'm doing this. Get out of here, champ. See how I'm doing all this with my vinyl cutter. Look, honestly, a professional could do this much, much better. I have no doubt. And a lot of cars, they just go full wrap. So literally they design it and they just wrap the whole car. So it doesn't matter what color it starts out with. I've done this probably the most difficult way. You know, I painted the car and then I'm doing all this. But the good news is if or when I get hit or whatever, say if it's on the back there, I'll just give it a light sand, panel beat it, whatever, rattle can that back blue, and then I will just cut the stickers I need to put back on there, so I don't have to pay for a whole wrap. So that's cool, that's good, you know, that saves me a bit of cash. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say about that. That's about it, really. Thanks for watching. Thanks to all the amazing supporters that are over this bonnet and over this roof. You guys are legends, and I do have little goodie bags coming to you. Just bear with me. Obviously, Drag Challenge and everything is really taken a lot of time, and I'm a glutton for punishment. And next week, I'm back at the workshop shooting Carnage, and then on Sunday, I go off and do like this international MasterChef thing that I'm shooting for 4 days, which is like 4 a.m. starts and 11 p.m. finishes. It's going to be a massive day. So please bear with me if I'm not getting stuff to you straight away. Same with brake duct orders. I'm doing my best. I'm just trying to get this car ready for Bathurst. And then also, I don't think we're going to have this shed much longer, unfortunately. Get out of here, champ. Yes, unfortunately, we are renting this place and we just got told that they're selling it from under us. So we're going to have to move, which really sucks because I really like this shed. It's a great size. It's a lovely neighborhood. We like everything about it, but the owners have decided to sell it. So we are looking now for our dream home and hopefully for an even better, bigger Nugget Project workshop, which will be a permanent one. And I'm going to put up signage. I'm going to make it cool as hell. But for the next few months, it's going to be a bit of stress dealing with that. It's not your problem. That's my problem. Just letting you know if videos aren't happening, that's why we're dealing with that as well. But we will make the most of this shed while we're in here. And I should probably clean up the 3 litres of gearbox oil I dumped on the ground here. Whoopsies. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you in the next episode. We've got our tyres off being buffed, so we might have a chat about that. And I just ordered the pipes and some cool bits for our window for cooling with the NACA ducts and stuff like that, so we'll do that soon. So check back for that. Thanks, guys. See you soon.